Entrepreneurship or ENT122. So for today, we will continue our discussion with module number 12 entitled Managing the Finance Functions. So to give you an overview about this module, the two dimensions of finance functions of a company consist of the acquisition of funds and the optimal use of funds. Thus, we can define financial management as a dimension of management that pertains to the acquisition, financing, and management of monetary assets to achieve certain organizational objectives. These tasks can be achieved by using principles of sound financial management. So, basically dito sa module na ito, ayan, entitled Managing the Financial Function, ayan, matututunan natin dito kung paano nga ba nag-a-acquire ng fund ang isang firm. Paano nga ba nila minamanage yung kanilang financial status. Okay? So, we have here the 10 guiding principles of financial management. So, principle number 1, an investment project with higher return may also have higher risk. So, syempre, di ba, kapag may malaking investment, di ba, para ka rin kasi sumusugal doon kasi walang kasiguruduhan kung talaga bang makakabalik. Lalo na kapag yung mga investment schemes na sinasabi sa'yo, palalakihin yung pera mo, ganyan. Gusto mo yung piso mo magiging 1,000, ganyan. Okay, di ba? O kaya kapag yung pinapangako sa'yo na malalaki ang return, syempre meron diyang malaking investment. So with that, isang malaking risk yun. Kasi walang assurance kung makakabalik ba talaga ang pera. Okay? And then next is the value of money changes over time. Totoo naman, talagang value of money nagbabago yan as time goes by. Ang piso noon, marami ka nang mabibili. Ngayon ang piso, kakaunti na lang ang mabibili mo. At time will come, ng piso, wala ka na mabibili sa halagang piso. So yung sinasabi dito na value of money changes over time. And principle number 3, cash, not profit, is the basis for creating value. So yung as long as meron kang cash for your business, yan, you are creating a value. Okay? So kung ano yung parang kumbaga sa isang firm or sa isang business, kung ano yung cash on hand mo, so yun yung pinaka-actual mo. Baka kasi mamaya ang lahat pala ng pera mo, wala kang cash, puro receivables lang pala. O kaya naman puro utang or puro ka-payables, di ba? So wala ring value, di ba? And principle number 4, in creating value, it is important to consider incremental cash flows. So kailangan tuloy-tuloy yun. And then principle number 5, in a competitive market, it is very difficult to reap huge profit. Syempre naman, kapag mataas ang competition, mahirap talagang kumita ng malaki. And then, you cannot outsmart an efficient capital market. So, next principle is creating value for the firm is tempered by the agency problem. Principle number 8, taxes may influence business decisions. Principle number 9, not all risks are created equally. And lastly, in creating value for the firm, the financial managers must be ethical in their actions and their decisions. So yun po yung 10 guiding principles for the financial management. So we have here the raising capital for new ventures. So some challenges. Any enterprise, big or small, will require a variety of resources to produce. These resources have their respective price tags. However, these new business ventures may not have enough internal funds to finance the acquisition of this resource for production. Thus, some companies may have to resort to external sources of funds. But raising capital from external sources involves several challenges, whether the funds are meant for small ventures or large startups. So, yan, pag nagre-raise daw tayo ng capital, for a particular firm, lalo na kung nagsisimula pa lang, yan, marami tayong challenges na encounter with that. Syempre, lalo na kung mag-uutang or maglo-loan, syempre kailangan natin na ma-prove muna na maibabalik natin yung utangin natin, nakakayanin ng business, di ba? Mahirap pang patunayan, lalo na kung nag-uumpisa pa lang yung business, di ba? Mahirap yun. Then, according to the experts on financial management, these challenges revolve around the concept of awareness or knowledge, knowledge on one's firm, knowledge on financiers, and knowledge on financial venues. So, ayan, yung mga sinasabi na dyan nga lang daw iikot yan. Lalo na sa mga bagong firm, yan. Siyempre, alam niya dapat yung business niya. Then, paano ang pag-finance? And then, saan-saan pa makakapag-source ng funds? Ano-ano pa ba yung mga paraan para makapag-source ng funds? And then, these key challenges are as follows. First is need to convince the lenders and investors that the firm is credit-worthy business enterprise. Yun nga sinasabi ko sa inyo kanina, di ba? Kailangan patunayan ng isang firm or ng isang business na credit-worthy sila, na pag pinautang sila, worth it. Kikita ang lending firm doon sa kanila, and kailangan nilang papatunayan na makakabalik ang uutangin nila. And then next is, in mobilizing funds, business venture should recognize the perspectives and interests of lenders and investors. So, ayan, pag nag-generate na ng fund or nagkaroon na ng sourcing of funds, ayan, kailangan ngang i-recognize yung perspective and interest ng lenders and investors. Parang ang magiging ano mo doon, syempre, ang pag nag-generate ka ng fund or nag-source ka ng funds mo, syempre, ang parang pinoprotect mo doon na interest is yung interest ng lenders, na kung saan yung way mo ng pag-source mo ng fund is syempre kailangan maibalik mo sa mga pinagkakautangan mo. And syempre sa investors, kailangan mo ring i-prove sa kanila na kikita talaga sila, nababalik yung kanilang investment. And then next is, need to understand alternative venues for financial intermediation. So, we have here the crowdfunding. So, uses social media as venue for raising funds for the new business ventures. So, yan, uses social media. Sa panahon ngayon, di ba, may marami ng social media or marami ng platforms on the social media kung paano makaka-earn ng money or makakapag-raise ng funds. Di ba nga, ang dami ng mga platforms ngayon. So, di ba, mayroon dyan yung Laika, yung tawag dito, Kumu, yan. And even on Facebook, pwede ka rin dyan makapag-raise ng fund. Yung mga, kapag may mga nakikita kayo nagla-livestream, di ba? Yung may mga sinasabi nila, send stars daw, di ba? So, nakaka-generate din sila doon ng fund. Then, even in YouTube, di ba? Yung mga monetized accounts, yan. So, maraming paraan kung paano mamamonetize or paano makakapag-raise ng fund through social media for the new business ventures. So, we have here the donation. So, crowd puts money to support a worthwhile program. Yan. Through donations. Alam na natin yon. Paano ba yung donation na yan? So, dito naman, since ito nga isang firm or isang business, yung donation dyan, hindi siya po pwedeng in-kind. Kailangan monetary ang donation. The next is reward-based. Crowd puts money into the company in exchange for a product or service. So, as parang trade lang for the reward-based. And then, next is the credit-based. So, for the credit-based naman, yan, crowd extends loans to the firm with the expectations of being repaid in the future. In short, utang pagdating sa credit-based. And then, so, we have here the types of capital debt versus equity. As implied in our previous discussion, the usual sources of external financing of firms are creditors and investors. A large proportion of transactions of commercial banks deal with the extension of loans to business ventures, mainly used as working capital and acquisition of equipment. So, dito sa types of, yan, sa capital debt versus equity. Ayan. So, meron nga daw tayong two sources of funds. Pwede nga galing sa isang investor, pwede rin namang inutang. Ang inutang yung pinaka magiging source of funds. So, however, the choice between the debt and equity is not the only option for firms in managing the finances. Many mature business enterprises create portfolio in sourcing of funds for capital accumulation. They simultaneously borrow money issue bonds, stocks, and other commercial papers to raise funds for the company. In choosing these alternatives, they weigh the benefits and costs of every alternative funding sources. So in short, dito sa ayan, maaaring ang umuutang, issue bonds or stocks and other commercial papers, yan, maaaring yan din yung mga paraan para makapag-source ng fund ang isang firm or isang business. So we have here the advantages and then disadvantages of credit financing. For a small amount of money that is immediately needed, credit financing is probably the most efficient route of for sourcing funds. An entrepreneur can talk to a nearby commercial bank to secure a loan. The bank may require the submission of its business plan, financial plan, various financial statements, and other documentary requirements. After careful review of the positive evaluation, the bank can issue a check or provide a credit line to the borrowing firm. A major requirement on the extension of credit is attachment of the collateral that the commercial bank can acquire in case of borrowing firm fails to pay its loan. So, yan nga pagdating sa loan, pwede ngang umutang sa mga banks and then merong collateral. Ano ba yung collateral ito? Ito yung pwedeng maging kapalit if ever na mag-fail ang isang business or isang firm sa utang nila at hindi sila makapagbayad. So, meron nga daw advantage and then disadvantage ang pangungutang ng isang firm. So, una, yan, advantage daw muna ng equity financing. The main advantage of equity financing is the huge amount of money that can be accumulated. In addition, it can earn substantial savings for not borrowing and servicing debts. These potential funds can be used by the firm for its operation and further expansion. Siyempre kapag umutang ka, 'di ba? Malaki mauutang mo, then magagamit mo talaga, mai-utilize mo ng maayos yung nalo-loan mo. Okay? But aside from that, meron yang disadvantage. The main disadvantage in equity financing is the complexities of preparing and issuing bonds, securities, stocks, and other commercial papers in the capital market. So, yun nga, syempre kapag nag-loan, madaming requirements na kailangan. Kailangan nilang i-prove na ang isang firm ay credit worthy. Okay? So, yun nga ang isa sa disadvantage. And then, isa pa dyan, syempre, yung mga interest, di ba? Malaki ang interest sa mga pautang na ganyan. And then, we have here the sources of capital for entrepreneurs. So, several micro and small-scale entrepreneurs source their funds from their own savings. Specialized programs of commercial banks, government grants, and other NGOs, venture capitalists, and business angels. So, we have here self-financing. Parang galing sa pera mismo ng mga may-ari yung kanilang magiging source of fund. Yan, borrowing from local credit market, borrowing from commercial banks, government grants, credits, and incentives. Dito sa government grants, ayan, maaaring yung support from the small and medium enterprises. Yan, di ba meron tayong Magna Carta for SMEs. Yan, maaaring galing din yan doon. And then yan, venture capitalists and then business angels. Ano ba itong business angels na yan? Bakit may angel sa business? Anyway, yan po ang mga maaaring maging sources of capital for entrepreneurs. And that ends our module number 12.